Caleb, I'm having a hard time pulling up the agenda. Can you put it on up on the big screen? Sorry.
What, you need the agenda?
It's spinning.
Yes, what else?
I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 24th special meeting of the Guymon City Council. Call this meeting to order. Item 2, attendance roll call.
Hager,
Present.
Alvidrez,
Present.
Swager,
Here.
Livingood,
Here.
Peterson,
Here.
Hoffman, Mr. Petty,
Here.
Mr. Dunham.
Here.
Item 3, discussion and possible action on approval of a proclamation declaring an emergency and prohibiting the firing of fireworks over 4th of July holiday.
I'll start this off and then let Grant give a little bit of a presentation here. But Grant and I were talking earlier this month, and considering the fact that the Texas County Commissioners had issued a burn ban June 15th, which was effective until June 30th, and then they issued another ban on discharging of fireworks on the 22nd of this month, that we felt it was probably in the best interest of the city of Guymon to issue a proclamation prohibiting the discharging of fireworks, which is required by city ordinance. You should have a copy of that ordinance. It's section 10, subsection 304. Grant, would you like to go over a little bit on the fireworks the burn ban that you've got?
So currently,
prepared?
Texas County's been in a burn ban for quite a few months. It is not getting any better, and actually this is the high time of the burn ban. I've got about 5 slides I wanted to show you, give you kind of an overview of Guymon and the immediate area. This is from the Mesonet. This is viewed every day by my staff, by myself, also Forestry Service and many other agencies that have a particular interest in Texas County and Cimarron County. As it says here, this first one's the visual greenness. It's pretty self-evident. You can go out there and see how brown it is. Well, this is actually a map of showing how brown compared to the rest of the state that it is. Guymon in Texas County is, and there will be a new one that will be put out, I believe, next week, which we already know, even with the slight rains that we've got, it's going to be worse. Next slide. This is the 1,000-hour dead fuel moisture. So on top of how dry it is, how bad would fires be in this area? And as you can see, we rank the top in the state in Texas County. It is not expected to get any better. Our fuel load right now with the grasses, and I'm talking about just inside the city limits, on the edge of city limits, we are in extreme, very critical condition right now as we speak. Next slide. So this is the Drought Indicator. This is something that is used every day by the Forestry Service. This is how they also use this in predicting whether they're going to send strike teams out here, which I have been in discussion within the last 3 days with the director himself of the Forestry Service, and they are looking at dispatching within the next week a task force to be stationed probably out here in Guymon or close to, because of our drought and our high fire danger. Next. And by the way, that drought indicator changes nearly daily. That was this morning. It will be a little bit redder this afternoon. This is the U.S. This is a monthly look of our drought situation and its predictor. So this kind of tells you what's going to go on currently in the June and going into July. As you can see, the dark brown, we're in the dark brown area, which drought persists or is persistent. Further east, it shows the drought is likely, and that goes into Beaver County, which is probably right on the dot there. Last slide. And this here is the predictor of rain in the next 6 to 10 days. We are in the 40% below probability in the 40 to 33 range, which is not very good for this area at all. It encompasses the entire Texas panhandle, southwest Kansas, which is the way the winds blow straight out of south currently. So the dry heat and the wind is going to make probability of fires that much more difficult day by day. As it stands of this morning, we've already been on one fire this morning on the other side on Highway 54 between here and Goodwell. We suspect it's probably something was dragging off of a vehicle. It started a 2-acre fire by the time we got to it. If it would have been on the other side of the road, which was CRP Grand, we'd still be out there trying to make sure it doesn't even get close to Guymon. But it is a very high possibility that that's going on right now. So it gives you an idea of exactly how dry we are. And fireworks, for that matter, we know they're going to start fires. But I think the best thing that we can do is try to prohibit discharge of fireworks as best we can for those that do the right thing and don't discharge them and wait.
No discharging at all, no sparklers, no fountains, nothing. Is that correct?
That's what we would like to see.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent material. Do you give the recommendation to county commissioners as well?
I do, along with the 11 other fire chiefs in the county.
Okay.
I talk to them every morning, or every Monday morning. I talk to here recently every morning.
Okay.
Before I go to the county commissioners on Mondays, I talk to each and one of them, ask them what their area looks like, what do they think. We know the answer, but I actually go to them specifically and ask.
For some
what do
reason,
they
there's a
think.
perception that the commissioners just come up with this idea on their own, but
No.
this is excellent information
No,
that
they
needs
do
to
not.
be, I think we need to distribute this on our social media sites and try to get this out as much as we can so people get a better grasp of what's going on. It's just not the city and the county trying to say, hey, we don't want you to
And
to partake
This is
in
all because
4th of July
we wanna
activities.
We want to protect people's property.
Understood.
I do not want to see anybody's front yard, backyard, their homes, their sheds, anything. go up
Understood.
with fire. And of course, with fire, you're going to have increase of possibility of injuries to death. We want to eliminate that. And just any little thing we can do to
Yeah,
prevent
and that
is what we
information
wanna
right
do.
there, that's great information.
Thank you.
Now, the county they're not allowing any fireworks in the county.
That is correct. That was
Correct.
passed on the 22nd.
And my understanding is there's a fine of up to $500.
Correct.
That is
So
correct.
it will be during a burn ban, if you were caught, starting a fire or found that you were negligent.
Includes fire pits.
Yes. Yeah. Now, still under the burn ban, this is not a governor's burn ban. The governor burn ban can or would prevent the sale of fireworks. That is not occurring to my knowledge. Come Monday, I believe there'll be more out on that. So the fireworks sales, I believe, will still be going on outside the city limits, which there again lies what we see as an issue, is them going to be firing fireworks anyway.
Seems like a pretty big temptation.
Kind of like putting the carrot before the horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that, was it 9 or 10 years ago when they actually, maybe you remember, Chief Babs, about when they told them not to sell fireworks, and we basically had to threaten to confiscate their fireworks?
I remember it, I don't know if that was during the governor's burn ban, because during the governor's burn ban, with the whole state, your powers are more spread out. But whereas this case is a county burn ban, I think the board of that is
Okay.
And just to reiterate, that was during a burn ban, and at the time, it was the governor put the burn ban on kind of late. The sheriff at the time coordinated efforts because they said that they would confiscate them. And indeed, in a way, he did confiscate them, but at the same time, orchestrated a transfer of those fireworks back to the original sellers, which it was in Amarillo. and those vendors were able to get their money back, because
Okay.
you understand, those vendors, they've already paid for the fireworks.
Right.
And they worked out a deal with that back then. That was when Sheriff Cadell was in, so it's been several years ago. Any other questions?
I make a motion that we approve the proclamation and declare an emergency and prohibiting the firing of fireworks over the 4th of July, item 3.
I second.
I have a motion and a second.
Swager,
Aye.
Peterson,
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Egger.
Aye.
Living
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Item 4, discussion and possible action to modify section 10-304 subsection D of the Guymon Code of Ordinances.
I asked to put this on there, and I understand with everything that's going on, it's quite a temptation to have this available, but it doesn't mean we can't visit it in the future to allow for the sale and distribution within the city of Guymon. It's no use to talk about it right now, but I would like to discuss it in the future. I just think we're missing out on some sales tax, and not, if people want to buy a permit to sell fireworks within city limits, I don't think that would be an issue if the environment allowed for it. And I don't think pending, well, what we just passed and what the county has passed, I ask that we table item 4.
I'll second
I have a motion and a second.
Egger,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson,
it. Aye.
Living
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Item 5, discussion and possible action to approve the sale and signing of the warranty deed for the property located at 206 Northwest 5th Street, Old Library Building, to Warranty Abstract Title Company of Guymon, Oklahoma.
This was approved back in November. We've done a survey, got that worked out. We've got the language worked out on the sale of the contract. There is a park right next door to the building, that is actually a part of the sale that we have worked out, in where the city has a easement to help maintain that as a park. That was the one thing that was kind of holding it up. But we do have the warranty deed language worked out between Mr. Petty and Mr. Harbison, and it's ready for signature. Mr. Harbison has already signed it, and just waiting for the city to execute it.
Joe Don, we visited about this, and I visited with the Harmon girls. Haven't visited with them lately because that park is the Hugh Harmon Park.
Right.
And part of this easement, part of the agreement is we'll continue to maintain that park.
Yes,
at the
the
present
easement
level.
will be for us to continue to maintain that as a park. If it ever ceases to be a park, the ownership of the property reverts back to Mr. Harbison, the way I understand it.
Thank you.
The city will continue the maintenance of the park and the grounds, and we will continue, all of the necessary efforts to keep that up as a park.
Okay. Thank you.
Who did the surveying?
You're gonna get me the line about
Are
that.
you asking about the survey or the appraisal?
The survey.
I think it was Tim
Campbell?
Campbell, I think. I read that.
Is that with Earl's Engineering?
Yeah.
I think it's on the survey.
Last page, you got Earl.
Yeah, Earl's Engineering and Inspection, who signed off on survey.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Make a motion to approve agenda item number 5, sale and signing of the property located at 206 Northwest Fifth Street, the old library building.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Egger.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Livengood.
Aye.
We've got 5 ayes.
Item 6, acknowledge receipt of $25,000 donation for the Nash Soccer Complex from a private foundation.
This is just basically a little housekeeping item. We have received a $25,000 donation from a private foundation specifically for the Nash Soccer Complex. This was received via Equity Trust and Wealth Management. A copy of that letter should be attached to the agenda. This is just so that we've got a record of that donation for auditing purposes.
Is that, I've got a question, is that the parent company of Equity Bank?
They hold the trust, the donation comes out of the trust department. So somebody
Oh,
within
okay.
that trust is wanting to give it to me,
Oh.
I would imagine. That's what I read. Is
Okay.
that right, David?
Any other discussion?
I asked if that was right.
Yeah, the bank wanted to be sure that it's deductible, so go
Yeah.
through the foundation
Okay.
to the project.
Okay. Item 7, we'll stand adjourned as a Guymon City Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad you guys got to see me there.
Glad you combed your hair.
Do what? My what?